All right, let's get it going. Here we go. Got a topic tonight. Look, it's time to tell the truth. Hey, all right. Remember that show back in the day, To Tell the Truth? Folk used to jump up and back and down, up and down, up and down, and finally somebody told the whole truth and nothing but the truth. And that's what we're talking about. Time to Tell the Truth series. We've been doing this for a while now, for a few weeks. And thank you for joining us. If you enjoy what you're going to hear and you want to hear more of it, definitely go to our YouTube page, Dr. Roz Akana, and you'll see the Time to Tell the Truth series and all the other topics that we've been talking about in the past. For those of you that don't know who I am, my name is Dr. Rosalind Shaw Belt. Everybody calls me Dr. Roz, not Dr. Oz. Some will call me Dr. Oz. Okay, I can't get used to that one. But anyway, I am the CEO of Dream to Life Productions and Ministry. I'm a wife, a musician, done a lot of things in my life thus far. But my doctorate is not in medicine. I'm not a medical doctor, so I don't claim to be a medical doctor. But I have doctorate in theology and divinity. And I am so blessed and proud to be a wellness coach, and I have a couple of certifications, certified economopreneur and lifestyle consultant, also as a certified wellness coach with the Flat Belly Lifestyle 2.0. So today's topic is toxic food ingredients in processed foods. Now, most of us, at some point in our lives, we eat, have eaten, or are still eating processed food because it's everywhere. But let's just jump right into this with this video. It's a little over 10 minutes, but hang in here with me. We're going to come back in just a few minutes.
We want to remember that as there are food for a gorilla, it's not the same for the polar bear. The eagle is a bird, but the quetzal is a bird. They don't eat the same food. One eats meat, one doesn't. Right? So we're going to begin to learn to select the food that correspond with us. Because we need that. Because you're smart. It's just that we didn't have the message.
Have you ever wondered if the food on your plate is silently sabotaging your health? Did you know that even celebrities like Kevin Hart and Kim Kardashian have faced serious health issues due to hidden dangers in their food? From toxic ingredients to misleading labels, we'll uncover the shocking truths and health risks that many of us, including some of your favorite celebrities, have fallen victim to. We'll also share life-changing dietary tips that Dr. Sebi recommends to help you avoid these dangers and embrace a healthier lifestyle. So stick around until the end to learn about the startling realities of our food supply and discover helpful tips to protect yourself and your loved ones. Imagine finding out that the foods you trust and consume daily are filled with harmful substances. What if the solutions to these issues are easier than you think? In this reality, you've got the power to make smart choices that keep you healthy and strong. So let's dive in and figure out what's going on with our food and discover the straightforward solutions that lie within our grasp. Dr. Sebi, a well-known natural healer, believed in the power of alkaline foods to heal the body. He didn't just talk the talk. He walked the walk by warning us about the lurking dangers concealed within processed foods. Those seemingly innocent snacks lining the grocery store shelves may pack a punch of harmful chemicals like BHT and BHA, which scientific studies have directly linked to severe health issues such as cancer and hormonal imbalances. Dr. Sebi's message was clear. Steer clear of these chemical-laden treats if you want to safeguard your well-being. Now let's shine a spotlight on the notorious villain hiding in plain sight, high fructose corn syrup, HFCS. It's the sneaky culprit behind the rampant rise of obesity and diabetes in our society. Found in everything from sodas to snacks, HFCS has a knack for wreaking havoc on our metabolism and sending our cholesterol levels on a roller coaster ride. Dr. Sebi sounded the alarm on this sugary menace, urging us to be mindful of its presence in our food choices if we want to maintain a healthy lifestyle. But Dr. Sebi's concerns didn't stop there. He was also deeply troubled by the widespread use of artificial trans fats in processed foods. While they were once thought to be harmless, numerous studies have linked trans fats to an increased risk of heart disease, stroke, and other cardiovascular issues. Despite efforts to reduce their presence in the food supply, trans fats can still be found in many packaged snacks, baked goods, and fried foods. Dr. Sebi's advice? Approach artificial trans fats with caution and consider their potential risks before making them a regular part of your diet. In today's fast-paced world, where convenience foods reign supreme, Dr. Sebi's wisdom shines like a guiding light. He reminds us all to put our health front and center by being mindful of what we eat. Instead of reaching for those processed snacks packed with who knows what, Dr. Sebi urges us to choose foods that are bursting with nutrients, the good stuff our bodies crave. So let's take a cue from Dr. Sebi and make every bite count. Let's ditch the processed junk and opt for foods that truly nourish us from the inside out. Because when we prioritize our health, we're not just living better lives today, but we're paving the way for a healthier tomorrow for ourselves and those we love. Now, let's reveal how you can avoid these hidden dangers in your food. Eat whole foods. Focus on whole, unprocessed foods. Fruits, vegetables, whole grains, nuts, and seeds should make up most of your diet. These foods are nutrient-dense and free from harmful additives. Read labels. Always read ingredient labels on packaged foods. Look for products with short ingredient lists that contain only recognizable items. Avoid foods with artificial preservatives, colors, and flavors. Avoid high fructose corn syrup. Opt for natural sweeteners like honey, maple syrup, or agave nectar. Check labels to ensure your food doesn't contain high fructose corn syrup. Choose organic. Whenever possible, choose organic produce and products. Organic foods are less likely to contain pesticides, GMOs, and other harmful chemicals. Reduce dairy and meat. Consider reducing or eliminating dairy and meat. Try plant-based alternatives like almond milk, soy milk, and meat substitutes made from beans, lentils, or tofu. Stay informed. Follow trusted sources for updates on food safety and nutrition. Being informed can help you make better choices about what you eat. By following these tips, you can enjoy a healthier life with less exposure to harmful additives and chemicals. Eating whole foods, reading labels, choosing organic products, cutting back on dairy and meat, and staying informed are simple steps that lead to better nutrition and well-being. All right, here's the moment you've been waiting for. Did you know that some celebrities have faced health issues because of processed foods and products from famous companies that use unhealthy ingredients? In 2019, comedian Kevin Hart suffered a severe back injury. His recovery journey involved not only physical therapy, but also a significant dietary overhaul. Hart embraced a plant-based diet, eliminating processed foods and focusing on natural, whole foods. This dietary shift not only aided his recovery from the injury, but also enhanced his overall health and energy levels. His experience highlights the profound impact of diet on health, aligning with principles advocated by Dr. Sebi. Kim Kardashian openly discussed her struggles with psoriasis, an autoimmune condition causing skin issues. In her quest to manage the condition, Kardashian made substantial changes to her diet. She cut out processed foods and instead embraced a diet rich in vegetables and lean proteins. This dietary shift aligns with the principles promoted by Dr. Sebi and underscores the potential benefits of adopting a cleaner, more natural diet for managing health issues. Let's take a closer look at some of the biggest food companies and the hidden dangers in their products. For instance, Nestle has been under fire for packing their products with way too much sugar, contributing to the global obesity crisis. This excessive sugar can lead to serious health problems like diabetes, heart disease, and weight gain, affecting millions of people worldwide. PepsiCo, another giant in the food and drink world, is well known for its sugary sodas and snacks. These products are loaded with high fructose corn syrup, HFCS, and artificial additives. HFCS is particularly nasty, messing up our metabolism, leading to weight gain and raising the risk of diabetes. Despite more people becoming aware of these dangers, PepsiCo's sugary treats are still super popular, showing the importance of being careful about what we eat. Kraft Heinz, a name we all know, has also been criticized for using artificial colors, flavors, and preservatives in its popular products, like macaroni and cheese and processed meats. These fake ingredients have been linked to various health issues, including allergic reactions, hyperactivity in kids, and even long-term risks like cancer. Those bright, fun colors and flavors might seem harmless, but they often come with serious health risks. To avoid this danger, it's important to become a smart shopper. Always read ingredient labels carefully and watch out for foods with long lists of weird, unpronounceable ingredients. These complex names often hide unhealthy additives and preservatives. Instead, go for minimally processed foods made with simple, natural ingredients. Fresh fruits, vegetables, whole grains, nuts, and seeds should be the stars of your diet, giving you essential nutrients without harmful extras. By making informed choices and focusing on whole foods, you can cut down your exposure to harmful additives and enjoy a healthier, more nutritious diet. It's all about taking control of what you put into your body and making choices that support your long-term health and well-being. And there you have it. Dr. Sebi's advice is clear. Prioritize whole, nutrient-rich foods and avoid the hidden dangers of processed snacks. Whether it's Kevin Hart's plant-based journey or Kim Kardashian's diet changes, smart food choices can transform your health. Stay tuned for our next video, revealing Jennifer Aniston's secrets to a long, flexible life. Until then, prioritize your well-being, nourish your body with the good stuff, and pave the way for a healthier tomorrow. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe for more insights on living your healthiest life.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Oh my God, that's fantastic. So it's all up to us. That's the bottom line. We have to make the choices. And I'm the first to say we make the transition into the choices. But here we're here to tell the truth. So we can decide to make those choices. Because if you don't know the choices, then you can't make them. So let's start with some toxic food ingredients that are found in processed foods that you may not know about. Palm oil. Now, when a regular fat like corn, soybean, or palm oil is blasted with hydrogen and turned into a solid, it becomes a trans fat. And we know trans fats to be evil. These evil anti-nutrients help packaged foods stay, quote, fresh. Meaning that the food can sit on the supermarket shelf for years without ever getting stale or rotting. Any of you ever thought about, when you go shopping, how long it's been sitting there? Eating junk food with trans fat raises your bad LDL cholesterol and triglycerides and lowers your good HDL. These fats also increase your risk of blood clots and heart attack. Avoid palm oil and other trans fats like the plague, and kiss fried foods goodbye. Oh my God. Since they're usually fried in one of these freakish trans fatty oils.
Was my mama the only one? The only one that used to have that big can of Crisco that used to sit on the stove? Yeah, you better not throw that away. You get yourself in trouble. Yeah, that big can. Yeah, that ain't no good. I know. You said mama. Yeah, I know. Mama didn't know. But listen, let's talk about it. That's no good. Don't worry about it. Let's talk about it right now. Hey, 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 what's going on, good people? What is going on? I am Rochelle T. Parks. I am your health motivator. And guys, welcome, welcome, welcome to another episode of Don't Fall for the Okie Doke. That's right. Don't do it, guys. Do not fall for the okie doke. Listen, I have a good one for you today, okay? Topic of discussion for today is hydrogenated vegetable oil, right? You're like, what? What is that? You see it sometimes on the back, it says partially hydrogenated vegetable oil. So you've seen that. You may not have known what it was, but we're going to talk about it today. So hydrogenated vegetable oil, basically it comes from edible oils extracted from plants like olives, right? Hence olive oil, right? Sunflower oil, okay, soybeans, okay. It's normally liquid at room temperature. And so where the hydrogenation comes in is they actually add hydrogen molecules, okay, to the vegetable oil, right? It alters the texture, the stability, and the shelf life. They actually do that, like actually add hydrogen molecules, right? And so what happens is that makes it more stable. It makes it resistant to oxidation. So it is less likely to spoil or become rancid. So it's easier to cook with. So that's why it's easy to cook with oils, baked goods and things like that, because it's less likely to spoil. It's resistant to oxidation, right? So here's the deal, though. Hydrogenation does something bad. It creates trans fats. You say, I've seen that too. Like you see on packages, like zero trans fats. Like what's the deal with trans fats? Well, trans fats are unsaturated fats and they're harmful to our health. Right? Like serious health concerns. Trans fats lowers our HDL, that's our good cholesterol. Trans fats lower the good cholesterol and they raise the LDL, that's our bad cholesterol. So they lower the good stuff and raise the bad stuff. That's what trans fats do, right? So in essence, they increase our risk for developing heart disease, type 2 diabetes, and also increase our risk of having a stroke. So these are bad, guys. You want to avoid hydrogenated oils at all costs. You say, okay, Rochelle, I get that, but where can I find them? Like, where are they? Margarine. You'll see them in margarine. Nobody should be eating margarine. Like we read that years ago. Like margarine is no good. Like remember I said, this is a real body. If you're gonna do butter. Don't be doing that fake stuff. Don't do the fake stuff. Do butter. Put real stuff in a real body, okay? Margarine, fried foods, that's another place. Microwave popcorn, okay? What about these pre-made doughs, like pizza doughs and things like that? Biscuits, you'll find hydrogenated vegetable oils in those. And here's two right here that I know I'm stepping on some toes, right? This right here took me way back, Crisco. Now, come on now. I grew up with Crisco. Everybody had that can that's on the stove that mama used over and over, that grease over and over. You better not throw out that grease. That'll get you a spanking. Don't you throw it out prematurely, okay? Everybody use Crisco. But it says right here, let me see. Soybean oil, fully hydrogenated palm oil, all kind of stuff. Fully hydrogenated though, fully, okay? Not partially, fully hydrogenated, okay? This is no good, guys. Crisco is no good, okay? No good. My coffee drinkers, come on. No, don't turn this off. Turn it back on. You need to hear this, okay? Nestle Coffee Mate. Come through, French vanilla. What does it say? Sugar, hydrogenated vegetable oil. Really? And coffee creamer? Yes. Okay, guys, don't fall for the okie doke. Avoid hydrogenated vegetable oil at all costs, okay? What does it do? It increases, right, your risk of developing heart disease, type 2 diabetes, and increases your risk of having a stroke. That's enough. You say, okay, Richard, you've convinced me. I will no longer use Crisco. I will get rid of my Nestle Coffee Mate creamer. Now, I'm not saying that that's all creamers, guys, but listen, if the overarching theme, you must become a label reader. You have to flip it around. I don't care what it says here. You have to flip it around and say, what is in it? And not up here on the nutrition label. You can look at some stuff, but go down in the ingredients label and see what it's made of. See, the devil is in the details. Go down here. So y'all looking up low and we getting smashed. You looking up high and we getting killed down low. look down low, okay? That's really gonna tell you what's really going on with this product. All right? Don't fall for the okie doke, guys. Avoid hydrogenated vegetable oil at all costs.
Mm.
That's all I have, guys. Hey, this is
At all costs, at all costs. That's what she said, at all costs. All right, number 2, shortening. She talked about that Crisco. I remember back in the day, my mama had that can sitting on the stove. Oh my God. Ditch any food that lists shortening or partially hydrogenated oil as an ingredient, since these are also evil trans fats. See, I'm repeating myself. I need you to hear this. In addition to clogging your arteries and causing obesity, they also increase your risk of metabolic syndrome. Choose healthier saturated fats, such as olive, peanut, canola oils, and foods that contain unsaturated omega-3 fatty acids instead. There are alternatives. We've just got to go after those alternatives. Yeah.
This is quite misleading because when you pick up a jug of vegetable oil and you see beautiful tomatoes and lettuce and red onions, the oil ain't made from that. It's always made from soybean oil. And these soybeans are not only GMO, but to turn it into oil in this jug, they have to use so much process, heat, and refinement that the oil becomes oxidized, and they have to use a deodorizer to make it edible. This is one of the most inflammatory oils ever. If a recipe ever calls for canola oil or soybean oil or vegetable oil for baking or savory, swap it out with avocado oil. This is anti-inflammatory. This is about as inflammatory as they get.
I love this guy. He just goes right there to the grocery store and shows us what we should do and what we cannot do and what we should opt to do. Number 3, white flour, rice, pasta, and bread. Don't shoot the messenger. I promise you, I just come to help, not to hurt. When a whole grain is refined, most of its nutrients are sucked out in an effort to extend its shelf life. Both the bran and germ are removed, and therefore all the fiber, all the vitamins, all the minerals gone, because these stripped down refined grains are devoid of fiber and other nutrients. They're also easy to digest. Too easy. They send your blood sugar and your insulin skyrocketing, which can lead to all sorts of problems. Replace processed grains with whole grains like brown or wild rice, whole wheat breads and pastas, barley, and oatmeal.
What is the best bread to buy at the grocery store? It's easy. It's whole grain bread. And a lot of people reach for this. And yes, I love the logo of Dave on his guitar. It's Kick Butt. Look at the ingredients. It's organic. It's whole grain. Fantastic. But there's sugar in this bread to the tune of 5 grams of added sugar per slice. Make a sandwich for your kids with 2 slices. That's at 2.5 teaspoons of added sugar. So I would put this one back here. Also, read the ingredients because most breads are made with enriched wheat or non-whole grain flour. At that point, it's just a simple carbohydrate. The best you can do at the grocery store is sprouted whole grain. Ezekiel is the OG. It's organic, it's sprouted, and sprouted grains are more easily digestible by your body. And when you sprout a grain, it unlocks more nutrition. The problem is this is healthy and kind of has that healthiest texture the kids might not like, which is why Silver Hills sprouted bread in the blue bag is light and pillowy. It's organic, it's sprouted. It makes a killer grilled cheese sandwich. And this is the kind of bread you want to be eating for you and your family.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Try that Ezekiel bread. I'm not a fan of the Ezekiel bread. I've tried it, but you just got to keep trying different things until you find something that fits your taste buds to get off of the stuff that's killing us. You heard me, killing us. All right. You heard him already talking about this. Number 4, high fructose corn syrup. The evil king of all refined grains is high fructose corn syrup. The amount of refined sugar we consume has declined over the past 40 years, but we're consuming almost 20 times as much high fructose corn syrup. According to researchers at Tufts University, Americans consume more calories from HFCS than any other source. It's in practically everything. Oh my God, don't tell me that. It increases triglycerides, boosts fat storing hormones, and drives people to overeat and gain weight. Adopt my zero tolerance policy and steer clear of this sweet poison. I bet you we had some high fructose corn syrup during Thanksgiving.
All of your favorite sodas, including this tonic water, have high fructose corn syrup. Fun fact though, Coca-Cola in the UK doesn't use high fructose corn syrup. They use real sugar because they highly discourage it over there. But here, I guess it's okay. Forget about the fact these fruit snacks have artificial flavors. They're sweetened with corn syrup, which is addictive. These are made for kids, so way to get them hooked at a young age. America's favorite ketchup, but sweetened with high fructose corn syrup. But this exact same bottle of catsup over in jolly old England is sweetened with sugar, but here they give us the bad stuff. But why? Why are all these products sweetened with high fructose corn syrup? Well, it's cheap. Cheaper than cane sugar. It's sweet, sweeter than cane sugar. They can use less, and it's highly addictive, so you come back and buy more and more. It is the definition of profits over people. And fun fact, high fructose corn syrup and corn syrup light up your brain a lot like a drug, a lot like an opioid. Read the ingredients. If it's got high fructose corn syrup, ditch it.
That's a saying that I think we should think about when we go to the grocery store. Sweet, cheap, and highly addictive. When I grab it, is it sweet? Is it cheap? Is it highly addictive? Nobody wants to be a drug addict. Nobody wants to be an addict, a food addict. But we're becoming a food addict and not even knowing it. Number 5, artificial sweeteners. Aspartame, you know the names: NutraSweet, Equal, Saccharin, Sweet and Low, Sugar Twin, Sucralose, Splenda. I bet you thought some of these were okay, right? They may be even harder on our metabolic systems than plain old sugar. These supposedly diet-friendly sweeteners may actually be doing more harm than good. Studies suggest that artificial sweeteners trick the brain into forgetting that sweetness means extra calories, making people more likely to keep eating the sweet treats without abandoning them. Nip it in the bud. Scan ingredient labels and ban all artificial sweeteners from entering into your mouth.
A new warning tonight about a popular sugar-free alternative found in many drinks and foods. Researchers in the U.S. have found links to an increased risk of heart attack and stroke. CTV's Allison Bamford on the growing concerns around artificial sweeteners.
A choice many of us face at the store. Do we opt for sugar-free products?
If the choice put in front of you is whether you should have a regular soda or a diet soda, the best choice is to drink water.
A new study from the Cleveland Clinic adds to existing evidence that the popular artificial sweetener erythritol might be linked to increased blood clots. 10 participants were given 30 grams of erythritol. Another 10 consumed the same amount of regular sugar. Researchers noting a significant increase in blood clot risk in those who drank the erythritol, but no change in those who had the sugar.
There's been hidden risk here that we never appreciated.
Erythritol is found naturally in some fruits and in our bodies in small levels, but higher amounts are often used in sugar-free sodas, ice cream, baked goods, and stevia products.
I many times have recommended artificial sweeteners to my patients, but I've stopped doing that. I'm now telling them avoid artificial sweeteners entirely because there's just too many lines of evidence that cause concern.
Last year, the World Health Organization released new guidelines saying non-sugar sweeteners do not help with long-term weight control and pose an increased risk to chronic diseases. Health Canada allows erythritol in several products, and it's generally recognized as safe in the US and Europe.
I'm not convinced they're better for you than regular sugar, but I'm not convinced that they're actually dangerous either.
This research is preliminary, and doctors say consumers should interpret it with caution. This is a small study, and larger, longer-term studies are needed to better understand the true effects of artificial sweeteners. Allison Bamford, CTV News, Regina.
So are we going to wait for the studies? Let's just make sense of what makes sense, right? Don't wait for the studies, because by the time they clarify what they already know or what they already believe, folks will be dead. Folks will already be diagnosed with high blood pressure and diabetes and all the things that they're being diagnosed with. All right, okay, I'm getting off my soapbox. Number 6, sodium benzoate and potassium benzoate. These preservatives are sometimes added to soda to prevent mold from growing, but benzene is a known carcinogen that is also linked with serious thyroid damage. Dangerous levels of benzene can build up when plastic bottles of soda are exposed to heat or when the preservatives are combined with ascorbic acid. Don't risk it, people.
Hi everyone, it's Dr. Lavanya here once again. Welcome to this week's video. Today, we shall discuss about another commonly used preservative, sodium benzoate. Sodium benzoate, the sodium salt of benzoic acid, is a type of salt-based preservative added to food, beverage, and condiments. It is widely used as an E number of E211 when you look at food label. It appears as a white crystalline chemical. In the food industry, sodium benzoate is used to prevent spoilage from harmful bacteria, yeast, and molds. It helps keep our products shelf stable for at least about 2 years from the date of purchase and is used in concentration of less than 0.5% by volume. It also helps maintain freshness in food by helping to slow or prevent changes in color, flavor, pH, and texture. Foods that commonly include sodium benzoate include salad dressings, pickles, sauces, condiments, fruit juices, some wines, and snack foods as well. Sodium benzoate is also heavily used by the soft drink industry in production of carbonated drinks due to the demand for high fructose corn syrup in carbonated drinks. Sodium benzoate increases the acidity of soft drinks, which also increases the intensity of flavor from the high fructose corn syrup. Besides its use in processed foods and beverages, sodium benzoate is also added to some medicines, cosmetics, personal care products, and industrial products. Sodium benzoate is used as a preservative in some of the over-the-counter and prescription medications, especially in liquid medicines like of 0.1%. The issue is not what sodium benzoate is, it's what sodium benzoate can become. When sodium benzoate is in the presence of ascorbic acid, that is vitamin C, and exposed to elevated temperature or light, the chemicals may interact and create benzene. Benzene is recognized as a carcinogen and is particularly known for attacking bone marrow. Diet beverages are more prone to benzene formation, as the sugar in regular sodas and fruit drinks may reduce its formation. The FDA cites a study conducted by the Center for Food Safety and Applied Nutrition from 2005 to 2007 on the amount of benzene in sodas and other beverages. They found that a small number of products sampled contained more than permissible amount of benzene. When these products were reformulated as a result of this study, manufacturers came up with a formulation which contained less than the permissible amount of benzene. The FDA has not published more recent product analysis, but has stated that the low levels of benzene in beverages don't pose a health risk. Long-term studies assessing the relationship between regularly consuming low levels of benzene and cancer risk are still lacking. So the best bet is to stick to fruit smoothies or water. Soft drinks are ultra-processed anyway, but if you do really crave to have a soft drink, it is best to avoid buying soft drinks that list both sodium benzoate and ascorbic acid or its chemical cousin, erythorbic acid. Hope you have benefited from today's video. That's all for today. Thank you.
So, when we listen to all of this and all these different toxic food ingredients in the processed food, it makes you have much more clarity that they don't want healthy. Bottom line. Number 7, butylated hydroxyanisole, BHA. It's another potentially cancer-causing preservative. I can't get over the fact that all of this stuff is cancer causing. All of this stuff is already listed. If you go to the Cancer Society's website and other societies, health societies' website, you'll see these things already listed, but yet they're in our foods. And it's been deemed safe by the FDA because they'll tell us that it's because it's in small amounts, it's okay. But if I'm eating small amounts daily or weekly or monthly, and then I'm eating not only number 7, but I'm eating number 6 and number 5 and number 4 and number 3, isn't that too much? I mean, they can't control which ones I'm eating, right? So they'll tell me this one is deemed safe. Its job is to help prevent spoilage and food poisoning. Now, who does that help? That helps the suppliers and the originators of all these products. But it's a major endocrine disruptor. Now, who does that hurt? That hurts us and can seriously mess with your hormones. BHA is in hundreds of foods. It's also found in food packaging and chemicals, has many aliases. You can look them up or you can follow their advice where I found this research and just ditch processed foods altogether. Oh my God. Is anybody seeing this? Is there a wake-up call? All this is a cereal and stuff? Okay, let's listen to this kid.
BHG makes you eat more and causes cancer. Apple Jacks have BHG for freshness?
Disgusting.
You're not buying corn dogs, you're buying BHG on a stick in your Hot Pockets. And even these products.
Chicago style BHA and BHT pizza.
BHG in cereal? No thanks. It's time for us kids to become food label detectives. Also, I illustrated this book, so get this book today.
Wow, look at that. Holistic Kids Show. Somebody needs to take a snapshot of this and go look this up and get this in the hand of your children. We've got to start in a younger generation. Holistic Kids Show. Absolutely amazing. All right, we're almost done. We got 10. Number 8, sodium nitrates and sodium nitrites. No, that's not a typo. 2 different preservatives found in processed meats like bacon, lunch meat, hot dogs. Yeah, America's favorite. Some of the worst offenders, and they're believed to cause colon cancer and metabolic syndrome, which can lead to diabetes. Protect your health by always choosing fresh, organic meats if you're going to eat meat.
We're in the midst of a deli meat boom that has reached an estimate of close to $10 billion in sales. With protein-hungry consumers looking for quick and cheap meals, sandwich meat isn't just for lunch anymore, and customers feel good when they see labels like these. But experts are now calling baloney on some of these hefty claims, arguing these labels are misleading and might not be as healthy as you think. And Pilar from New York is worried that she's getting duped in the deli aisle. Take a look.
Hi, Dr. Oz, it's Pilar, and I need a food fact check. I saw on my Facebook feed that my son's all-time go-to favorite nitrate-free salami actually might contain nitrates in it. I'm a little bit confused, and I could really use your help on this one.
All right, we'll get you an answer, but no matter what the result, we also have practical solutions to help you enjoy your deli meat guilt-free, because I know you're going to eat it anyway. So, with that in mind, here to help food fact check is family health expert Dr. Jennifer Cardle. Why is this food fact check so important to you?
You know, I mean, food fact checks when it comes to nitrates and nitrites is so important. We know that processed foods are often cured with nitrates and nitrites, and the thing about them is we also know that nitrates and nitrites can lead to the formation of potentially cancer-causing chemicals. This is a big deal. The stakes are very high, and not only that, but the World Health Organization came out saying that processed meats are carcinogenic when it comes to colon cancer.
Dr. Cardle, let's explain what nitrates are. I don't want to panic you guys. Let's cut through the confusion with a little food science. Make sense, everybody? That way we know what we're dealing with. Okay, so nitrates and nitrites are actually naturally occurring chemicals, right? 80% of nitrates come from the vegetables. My favorite, broccoli. They make nitrates and nitrites, right? And then your body sort of swirls them into our stomach, right? And it actually lowers your blood pressure. That's why vegetables are good for you in part, because our mouth converts these to exactly the form they need to be. So what's the problem, right? Here's the issue. When you add lots of these nitrites and nitrates to processed meat, they can convert to nitrosamine, right? Nitrosamine is different, right? All these little buggers, right, go down into your stomach, and that's the same stuff that's in the tobacco smoke, the carcinogen in tobacco smoke. So you don't want to have a lot of that hanging around your stomach, right? Now, this is the issue that's gotten everyone worked up. Dr. Cardinal, explain how these get into your deli meat and why are they there?
Right. So when it comes to deli meat and processed meats like bacon and things like that, nitrates and nitrites, and this I really need to stress, they're added for a reason many times, to prevent bacterial growth. That's one thing, so to preserve the foods. But the other thing, as we mentioned before, is it sort of helps preserve and actually give some of the meats flavor and their coloring as well. But consumers, they're well aware of some of the risks of these additives that you just talked about. So what's happened is a lot of manufacturers have actually started using naturally occurring nitrates and nitrites instead of the synthetic ones. And they're also labeling their products nitrate-free or no nitrates added. But the thing is, Dr. Oz...
You've all seen this, right?
Yeah.
How many of you think that's better? About 2/3 of the audience.
Yeah.
All right, good. All right, it says turkey, no nitrates, and uncured.
Right.
That's what it says, right?
Right.
No nitrates.
But we've got to read the small print. That fine print is really where we have to hone in. If we take a look at this fine print, it says no nitrates except those naturally occurring in celery powder. So even though it said before no nitrates added, it then says, but wait, except those naturally occurring, and that's what's happening. So this is what we have to pay attention to.
So does it matter if the nitrate source is a natural one like celery powder or if it's from a chemical source?
So that's the million-dollar question. When it comes to processed meats and things like this, you know, many scientists think no. We often think that the naturally occurring nitrates and nitrites are not much different than the synthetic ones, and that the risk to our bodies could be the same. So this is why, like when it comes to labeling of these products and things like that, transparency is so important, and we've got to pay attention.
So for this food fact check, we reached out to the North American Meat Institute to get their take. I want to hear from all sides, and here's what they said in part. Nitrates and nitrites provide a critical food safety function by helping to prevent botulism and other foodborne illnesses. The National Toxicology Program examined the concerns surrounding nitrates and nitrites and found them safe to consume, as did the Food and Drug Administration. From misleading labels to a variety of options, how do you know what to buy? Today, the ultimate deli meat buyer's guide to give you the answers that you've been craving once and for all. And back to help break it all down is Dr. Jennifer Cardle. So with the rise of keto and these other high-protein-based diets, people are buying more of the deli meats, but they have concerns. What are the big ones?
Yeah, you know, my patients, many of my patients, for example, they're trying to be healthy, which I love, and they also want to eat healthy. But some of their concerns with deli meats is the sodium content. They're worried about how much salt is in them. But they're also worried about other things like saturated fat and cholesterol. But sodium, that takes the cake.
All right, so let's get to the deli meat buyer's guide that everyone can find on DrOz.com. First is you got to buy reduced or low sodium. You mentioned it's a problem, but it's a huge difference in these choices when you come to deli meats.
You know, I always say that each deli meat is created differently. Every deli brand is created differently. You really got to read nutritional labels because the salt content can vary widely. And as you mentioned, you want to go for that low sodium or reduced sodium deli meat. Super important there.
So give me an example. If a typical serving of deli meat that I might put in the sandwich, how much?
Well, that's actually a really good point because we actually did some research here. We found that at one particular brand, 6 slices of deli meat had 740 milligrams of sodium. But wait a minute, to put that in context, okay, let me give you some context. For a heart-healthy diet, we want less than 2,300 milligrams of sodium a day. For some people, that's got to be less than 1,500 milligrams. So if you're taking in 6 slices of deli meat and getting over 700 milligrams, that's potentially over half of your daily amount of sodium in 6 slices of deli meat. That's a lot.
Guys, reward the folks who are making products that are a little healthier for you. If you can nudge yourself towards less salt, why not do it? Okay, next up. When it's possible to order from a deli counter versus buying prepackaged, should you do it? That's the question. Joining us now is Matthew the Butcher from Butcher Bar, and Nydia is here. Nydia, what is your go-to deli meat?
My go-to deli meat is roast beef.
Roast beef.
Yes, it's a little pricey, but it's really filling, it's hearty, and it's just a little treat that I give myself.
So, Becky, everyone's got a bias. Right. Give us the behind-the-counter advice here. What do people need to know about that they don't? What are your secrets?
Well, my secrets are the thinner the slice, the tastier the bite. So if you're trying to cut down on that sodium, just go a little thinner on the slice and pack a little bit less in the sandwich. And it'll actually taste better because of all the products combining in your mouth. So that's my little secret.
And walk us through these. Which ones do you like?
My personal favorite has got to be turkey, especially when I make it. So the easiest thing, if you want to make some of your own healthy cold cuts, just take a turkey, roast it up, and put your favorite ingredients in it, some cracked pepper, or red pepper, whatever you'd like, and then again, cut it thin, and it'll be great in any sandwich.
So I can actually recognize this came off of a slice of something, right? There's the chicken and turkey, turkey's over here, the roast beef, as opposed to the ham and the salami. No animal looks like that, right? There's no salami animal.
No, no salami.
So cut the middleman out, right? Cut them thin, like you mentioned, and ask the Matthews. They did a nice choice, by the way. Thank you all for your advice. You can find the full deli meat buyer's guide on DrOz.com. I'll be right back.
Oh my goodness. You know, we love it. We love a good sandwich. We love and many of us have thought for so long, okay, well, I won't do the ham and I won't do the other things. I'll do turkey. But, you know, we're still getting the same nitrates and nitrites. Number 9, blue, green, red, yellow. We love our colors, but they're artificial. Artificial colors. Blue 1 and 2, green 3, red 3, yellow 6. I am convinced, as I've been doing these studies week after week, I am so convinced that the reason our younger generation is having an increase in all of these things, cancers and brain tumors and etc., is this right here. The colors. I mean, we love colors, but we should seek out the foods with the fewest artificial chemicals, especially when we're shopping for our kids. And they love the colors. The colors attract them to the box, to the product, to the candies, to the gummies. Oh God, the gummy bears. Come on now. Right?
You will never believe how Red 40 is made. In 1856, Henry Perkin, a British chemist, made a mistake. Trying to make a treatment for malaria, he invented a synthetic food dye. But you will never believe what he used. You would never guess the material used to give color to our foods. Did you know that there was a time when you could drink black water, sip on clear Pepsi, and even slather pink butter or green ketchup on your food? Today, 90% of sodas contain artificial colors. What are they using? How is Red 40 exactly made? Is it dangerous? Today, we're diving into the fascinating history of synthetic food dyes. Food coloring has a long history, with evidence suggesting its use dating back to 1500 BC in Egyptian cities. Ancient candy makers used natural extracts and wine to enhance the appearance of their products. However, during the Middle Ages in Europe, food aesthetics took a back seat as people focused on producing their own food rather than being concerned with how it looked. The modern age saw a resurgence in the importance of food aesthetics, driven by urbanization, trade, and the importation of spices and colors. Augsburg, Germany, for instance, enacted one of the first food laws in 1531, regulating spices and colorants, but it remained expensive to use. In 1856, an 18-year-old British chemist named William Henry Perkin was working as a research assistant for a renowned chemist, and he was attempting to synthesize quinine, a treatment for malaria.
With the expansion of the British Empire into remote parts of the world, malaria was wiping out populations of British civil servants and soldiers in the newly established colonies.
His experiments involved coal tar, a byproduct of fuel production from coal. However, a mistake in one of his experiments led to the creation of a dark powder. Curious, Perkin washed his flask with alcohol, and to his surprise, he discovered a bright purple residue. Perkin decided to use this newfound substance to dye silk, and it turned out to be a remarkable success. This accidental discovery marked the birth of the world's first synthetic dye. During the 19th century, there was a significant issue with food adulteration in both Britain and the United States, where manufacturers added dangerous metal salts like copper sulfate and lead chromate to make pickles, jellies, and candy appear more vivid. With the discovery of Henry Perkin, coal tar dyes offered a safer and more vibrant alternative, requiring only a small amount and leaving the flavor unaffected. This discovery initiated a golden age of experiments, with chemists creating various coal tar-based colors. Henry Perkin established a company to produce dyes, and even Queen Victoria was spotted wearing a dress dyed with Perkin's synthetic mauve color. Food companies began to adopt coal tar colors, using them in products like butter, candy, and alcohol. However, it was not all smooth sailing. Workers in coal tar color factories soon started to develop health issues, including bladder cancer. The public started to be preoccupied. Concerns arose about the safety of coal tar dyes, and the 1906 Pure Food and Drugs Act in the United States granted authorities the power to regulate the approval of food colors. This act drastically reduced the list of permitted synthetic colors from 700 to just 7. People started to realize that cherries that once were red were now naturally yellow. Over the years, more colors were permitted, increasing to 15 by 1931. However, in 1950, dozens of illnesses caused by brightly colored Halloween candy led to the removal of several coal tar colors from the approved list. Red 2, initially made of coal tar, also faced controversy with some tests, suggesting it caused tumors in female rats, leading to its removal from certain products. An absolute disaster for food companies who could not afford natural dyes like saffron to color their foods. Food manufacturers gradually stopped using coal tar. Instead, they substituted it with petroleum. You heard right. The artificial food colorings used in 90% of the sodas you drink are made out of petroleum. They undergo rigorous testing to ensure they contain no traces of the original petroleum. However, there are still concerns about potential health effects, such as hyperactivity in children and purported contraceptive effects.
Over 40% of the food in the standard grocery store has artificial food coloring, and most of that's Red 40.
A significant portion of the food we consume today is processed. We all know that. These processed foods undergo alterations from their natural states for various reasons, such as eliminating harmful bacteria, improving visual appeal, and extending shelf life. In fact, about 70% of the average American's diet is composed of processed foods. Many of these foods wouldn't look nearly as appetizing if it weren't for food coloring.
Yellow number 6, pain reliever with blue number 1. Red velvet cake mix, more like red velvet number 4. How about Toucan Sam? They color their cereal with a triple dose of artificial colors, and that's a problem because artificial colors are directly linked to hyperactivity and obesity.
The research shows that for kids who have ADHD, exposure to certain food additives, including some preservatives and food dyes, can exaggerate their symptoms. And 10% of children in the U.S. have been diagnosed with ADHD. So if you're concerned about that, or even just being a parent in general, move away from the processed foods, limit or restrict their use.
Food dye has the ability to damage your DNA. I mean, that's just mind-blowing.
And yet, the FDA Food Advisory Committee held a hearing, and they voted 8-6 not to recommend banning artificial food coloring or requiring a warning label. They made it legal. It's still legal. There's no warning label. But they were asked, this whole committee was asked in a questionnaire, is there a need for additional studies on red number 40? 93% of the committee said yes, 7% said no. 93 of them are saying, yeah, there's a need for additional studies, but we're still going to make it legal. All right, we're still going to have it. And that's kind of one of the issues in our culture in America, is that we legalize these chemicals, and then we wait until the data starts coming in, just pouring in. We wait until the floodgates are opened with the data.
Currently, there are 7 artificial colors generally permitted in food. Blue 1, blue 2, green 3, red 3, red 4, yellow 5, yellow 6, Blue 2 is the only one in this list that is not derived from petroleum. But why do we even need artificial food coloring when there are plenty of natural options available? One key reason is cost. Synthetic dyes can be mass-produced at a fraction of the cost of gathering and processing materials for natural dyes. Another advantage is shelf life, as artificial dyes often outlast their natural counterparts of the same color. The future of food coloring remains uncertain. Regardless of the direction food coloring takes, one thing is clear. The way food looks is just as important as how it tastes. When you go buy food, keep an eye on the ingredients, and I hope you make the right decision. What are your thoughts about today's video? Did you know about the key component of food dyes? Leave your comments down below.
So everything has got a color to it. I mean, let's just be realistic. They color everything. And then finally, number 10, MSG, monosodium glutamate. Glutamate is a processed flavor enhancer. While glutamates are present in some natural foods, such as meat and cheese, the ones exploited by the processed foods industry are separated from their host proteins through hydrolysis. The jury is still out on how harmful MSG may be, but high levels of free glutamates have been shown to seriously screw with your brain chemistry. Don't fall prey to chemical flavor enhancing. Just play it safe and flavor your food naturally. I mean, look at this. Who doesn't love some cream of mushroom soup to give you the kind of gravy you want on your meat? If you ever wonder why some foods are so addicting, when you look at this, companies don't want to put monosodium glutamate, MSG, on their ingredient list. So they found another way to secretly add this potent flavor enhancer to your food. They use certain additives that contain free glutamic acid and have the same effect on your body as MSG, such as yeast extract. You see it on there. And soy protein concentrate, all without warning you. This allows them to have a cleaner looking ingredient label and deceive you into believing that product doesn't contain any MSG, when actually it does. Do you have friends who use this soup in their cooking?
Don't eat processed foods. But when you walk into a supermarket, 80% of the store is processed foods. To give you a definition of what processed foods is, if it's in a box, bag, can, jar, has a food label on it with multiple ingredients, it's more than likely processed. And the primary way that they preserve food is with salt. Quite often people think, okay, I'm not gonna use a salt shaker. But if you eat processed food, you're eating salt.
Dr. Bobby Price makes it easy. Box, bag, can, jar. That's easy. Is it in a box, a bag, a can, or a jar? Guys, that covers a whole lot of stuff. That's why it's important that you take steps to reduce your exposure and also detoxify your body. We've got to detox. We've got to remove the heavy metals. We've got to put some stuff in our body to help get the stuff out that we've allowed to get in. And we got to do it on a regular basis. It becomes a lifestyle to cleanse your intestinal and your bowels, to expel your toxins from your organs. Somebody told me the other day, well, I do a colonoscopy. Okay, excuse me, that's just your colon. You have more body parts than your colon. You've got stomach, you've got small intestines, not just large intestines. You've got arteries, right? Lymphatic congestion, and you want to have a smooth nutrient delivery. Listen, if you want more of this kind of stuff, if you want more of these truths, go to the YouTube page and click subscribe. Don't shoot the messenger. I'm just trying to tell the truth.